There's a feeling out here you can't quite explain. It sits in the ground, in the walls, in the silence between the wind. Most people would call it history. I think it's something more. People ask me why I run Paranormal Investigations, and I could give them the simple answer, that there was a gap in the market, that no one else was really doing it like this out here. And that's true, but it's not the real reason. The truth is, we are surrounded by lives that were never finished properly, by stories that were never written down, by people who came out here chasing something, a better life, a future, a chance, and instead they were met with heat, hardship, loss. I've lived in this country for over 20 years, and I know how hard it can be now. So I think about them without the things we rely on. No air conditioning, no real medical care, no safety, just survival. I think my understanding of all of this really began with my grandmother. I sat with her when she was dying. She was 93, and she knew. She understood death in a way that most people don't. She had seen things like I had, felt things like I had. She carried that quiet old knowledge, the kind that doesn't need explaining. And she waited for me. I know she did. When she passed, I felt something leave her. I didn't imagine it. I didn't question it. I felt it. And what stayed behind was just a body, just biological. And in that moment, something inside me settled, because the feeling I had when she left was the same feeling I had known all my life. In places, around people, in moments I couldn't explain. As a child, I saw things, and like a lot of children, I was told they weren't there, not out of cruelty, but out of protection. But somewhere in that, I learned to doubt myself, and she gave that back to me. She showed me I wasn't wrong. Years later, when Drew died, I didn't get that moment. I wasn't there. I got a phone call instead, and it felt like the world had stopped making sense. When I saw him again, it was the same truth. His body was there, but he wasn't. And as painful as that was, it gave me something. Clarity. It told me that what we are is not just this, that whatever it is that makes us, us, it doesn't end here. So when I say I run Paranormal Investigations, it's not because I'm chasing ghosts. It's because I'm looking for people. People who lived here, who struggled here, who loved here, people who were never properly remembered. Silverton is full of them. Incredible history, but so little of it written down. Sometimes all you get is a name, sometimes not even that. At the cemetery, there are around 20 marked graves, but over 200 people are buried there. Babies, children, women, men my age, lives, reduced to nothing more than dust and distance. I once read a death record from the hospital. All the men were listed properly, full names, and then there was one woman, just a surname, and the word female in brackets. That was all she got. And I think about that a lot, because every single one of those people was an entire world. They had dreams, they had fears, they had people who loved them, they laughed, they struggled, they hoped things would get better, just like we do. And somehow, they were lost. So when we use equipment, when we ask questions, when we sit in those spaces, I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm trying to reach, to say, we see you. You mattered. You are here. Because I hope one day someone will do the same for us. Sometimes I forget what Drew's voice sounds like, and that terrifies me. Because if we don't hold on to people, if we don't remember them, what happens to them? Out here, resilience didn't come easy. It came from people who endured things we can barely imagine. Women who travelled alone across impossible distances. Mothers who lost children. Families who buried their own. Men sent deep underground and never brought back up. That resilience, I don't think it's gone. I think it's still here, in the land, in us. So yes, sometimes it gets uncomfortable, sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's unexplainable. But it's not about fear. It's about memory. It's about acknowledgement. It's about standing in a place and refusing to let it be forgotten. Because this place, and the people who built it, deserve more than silence. And maybe, just maybe, if we listen closely enough, they'll tell us who they were.